Thank you, Marty. Avi Meyers, Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine, a presentation of Sonny Hirsch and myself. NTNM on the web. All our shows are on YouTube. Community Policing, caps24.org. The new schedule is out for 2014, so go to caps24.org to see it. It is political season, and even better than that, high judicial time. The primary election in Cook County is the entire election for judge. There is, outside of one sub-circuit, there isn't a single Republican candidate running countywide or sub-circuit-wide. So your vote in the Democratic Party Democratic primary decides who the judges are going to be. And you can argue, and I think successfully, that a judge is much more likely to affect you than even the governor of the state with that primary. Because when you appear before a judge, it might just be a traffic ticket, but it also could be divorce. It could be a serious financial matter. It could even be your freedom or your life, or those of your loved ones. So it's very, very important to elect highly qualified, judges that are fair and very capable. And it is my pleasure to introduce you to somebody who I definitely feel falls within those ranges. And by the way, good bar ratings count too, and he's got good bar ratings. Judge James L. Kaplan, how are you?
I'm well, and thank you for having me here.
First of all, thank you. And why don't you tell us a little something about your background and yourself?
Well, I'm a lawyer for about 42 years and a judge, first on the Court of Claims for 5.5 years, and the last 3 years a judge in the Circuit Court of Cook County. My present assignment is in the Domestic Relations Department, and I sit in the area called Paternity and Child Protection, Child Support, Abuse, and visitation issues like that. And I've never practiced that in that area in my law career, but I've come to feel that my place is really where I am. I don't ever want to move from this assignment. It's really been a blessing to be able to have an impact on kids' lives. And when you say that judges are important because they affect people's lives, the truth is that's absolutely right. In a day, we can affect more lives more directly and protect more kids than most of the other people who are in political life. So for me, it's a thrill to be able to protect a child. Every child that's in my courtroom under my jurisdiction, or even if I don't meet him, is my child. That's my kid. And I approach my cases in that fashion. And I've had some really unique experiences in that courtroom that defy imagination and come up, I hope, with some creative solutions that protect children.
I think that's important. And, now you guys see what I'm talking about somebody who really cares about what they're doing along those lines.
I do.
Where are you presently? What court?
In the Daly Center. I'm in room CL11 of the Daly Center, and that's the area for paternity and child protection, child support.
And do you hear? How many cases do you hear in a given day?
Well, I probably have about 30 cases on my call, but I hear trials in the afternoon. I can't do my progress call and some motions in the morning, but I'll have trials in the afternoon, 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and they don't always get completed on the day that they're set. We may have to put them over for more witnesses, and our DCFS people are experts, and they usually get 1 or 2 trials in the afternoon. So I would say I have 5 to 10 trials a week, and then motions and progress calls in the morning, about 30 a day.
Wow.
It's a heavy call, volume call.
Yeah.
And managing that is quite an effort too. I love it. I mean, I'm never bored, and the day goes by so fast my head spins. But the people that are in there with their kids and their problems are, for me, quite remarkable. You were raised and I was raised in an atmosphere where there was an unspoken covenant between you and I and our parents and my children and I. And that covenant is that we always want to do better for our kids than even that was done for us. And I have no complaints. I was done plenty good. And there's no covenant like that walks into my courtroom. I don't see it. I see transgenerational matters where I know the folks who are the parents here were treated the same way by their parents, and they're treating their children the same way, and those kids are going to be back in front of a guy, and I say this to them, a guy who has absolutely no business being in their lives.
Wow.
Okay? And it happens every day. It's a remarkable circumstance for a guy like me. It really is. I was a people lawyer. I had a people practice for 39 years. I had the same partners, and I did civil law. My partners did criminal law and corporate and divorce, and never in my experience with all the people I represented, thousands over a career, did I ever come across folks like this.
Wow.
Never, Avi.
I'll tell you, well, thank God that you never had to run across him, but, at least there's somebody like you trying to do the right thing for
Oh,
him
absolutely.
right now.
And the judges in my division are all like that. We all take our cases very seriously, approach it with the child being, the most important issue, and I take it very seriously. I look at those kids; they're mine. They're mine.
No, there's no question. I will say this too, that other judges, have really spoke so highly of Judge Kaplan. Even Zira Quadri, who was a guest on a recent show, she knows him and was really singing his praises beyond belief. How many different judges are there in that division? 7,
and we all have a deputy assigned to us. It's really a high-tension courtroom. I mean, the tension between the people, it's palpable. You can almost touch it, and so you have a deputy assigned. So far, knock on wood, I haven't had experience with any problems, but I have a courtroom clerk, and I have an extern who's a law student, just got his license, and his name is Zohaib Ali, and his mom's a Chicago police officer, and he's a terrific guy, and I've never worked with finer people. The staff in my division, it's almost like family right after a year of being in there. So it's really a remarkable circumstance for me. I can't say that enough. I probably have.
No, not at all. So you're running in the 12th Sub-Circuit, which is a specific area.
It is. It's Glenview, Northbrook, Northfield, Elk Grove, a little bit of that, a little bit of Arlington Heights, Wheeling, Glencoe, Netka, New Trier area. So it's New Trier and west and south of Lake Cook Road. It's quite a big geographic area, and it's been really interesting walking around and meeting people during the petition signing period.
And I do believe our show is shown in every single one of those cities, as a matter of fact.
Oh, that's neat. That's a great thing.
So I didn't think you'd mind that.
Let me think about that. No, I don't mind.
So how do you go about? Now we've only got about a minute here.
Okay.
But to campaign, besides for doing things like appearing on the show, do you go to a lot of events?
Oh yes, I go to. I've been to, I would say, 30 events since August.
Wow.
And it's one thing, and meeting people. I love doing that too. It's not a real tough deal to do for me. I've done it once before. I vowed I would never do it again, but here I am, and I'm enjoying it. This is not a fight at all. I'm running against some pretty good people, so it's an interesting battle.
Yeah, and I'll say too that one person who's been a guest on the show, Sean Tanner, is your campaign manager.
Correct.
And what is the website for your campaign?
It's www.judgekaplan.com. Very creative, huh? It's just judgekaplan.com.
Well, actually, listen, you're not trying to sell them soap. You want it's an easily identifiable site. So www.judgekaplan.com.
Right.
To vote for him, you've got to register in the Democratic primary. That's the only way. And the election is March 18th. And there'll be a 2-week early voting period. No fault to absentees, so there's no excuse for you not to get to the polls and vote. And I'd like to thank you very much, Judge James Kaplan.
Thank you, Avi. It's a pleasure.
My pleasure.